David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me, Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds" reveals a truth many confront: the struggle with fitness. We often make excuses to avoid the gym after work or skip that weekend run. Imagine a life lived free of excuses, committed to giving your all. In these insights, we delve into Goggins' transformative journey, where he exemplifies this philosophy. Join us as we explore the remarkable story of this extraordinary individual. From a traumatic childhood and a battle with obesity to becoming one of the fittest soldiers globally, we'll uncover what it takes to reach peak physical condition. With raw honesty and astonishing tales, we'll discover how Goggins turned his life around, achieving the seemingly impossible, and how you can replicate his journey. Point 1 reveals Goggins' challenging beginnings, marked by a brutal and demanding father. While many American children enjoy a carefree childhood, David's was starkly different. Born in New York in 1975, he faced a childhood devoid of joy and nurturing. At just 6 years old, Goggins, alongside his mother and older brother, endured the tyrannical reign of his father, Toughness. A self-made businessman, Toughness exploited his family at his own roller disco, forcing them to work late into the night. As a young child, Goggins was assigned to manage skate shoes, while his mother prepared their meals in the rink's office. When their work eventually ended around midnight, they would try to sleep in the same noisy office. The incessant music made it nearly impossible for Goggins to stay awake in school. The relentless combination of school and late-night labor became intolerable, compounded by his father's sickening violence. David frequently witnessed his father abuse his mother, facing his own punishment whenever he attempted to intervene. Thankfully, when David was just 8, he and his mother escaped Toughness. She cleverly convinced him to allow her to obtain a credit card, facilitating their exit with a neighbor's assistance. They hurriedly fled to Brazil, Indiana, seeking freedom from their abuser. However, freedom came at a cost. David's older brother chose to remain with their father, creating a painful absence. Life in Indiana was far from easy. Point 2 illustrates how, despite escaping his father, Goggins couldn't evade the scars of his past. David may have left the abuse behind, but his childhood remained fraught with challenges. In small-town Indiana, he faced poverty and the psychological impact of his traumas. Once the initial relief of escaping faded, Goggins and his mother were met with harsh realities. They were plunged into poverty, receiving minimal support from Toughness. They lived in a public housing complex, relying on her part-time income and a meager welfare check. As if their circumstances weren't challenging enough, by 3rd grade, David showed signs of deep-seated trauma. He developed a nervous stutter, his hair began to thin, and patches of his skin lost color. David later understood this to be the effect of toxic stress resulting from his early trauma. Such severe abuse led to lasting changes in his brain chemistry, keeping him in a constant state of alertness. Sadly, this condition impaired his memory, leading teachers to wrongly label him as lacking intellect. Facing expulsion and possible placement in a special needs facility, David resorted to cheating on tests and assignments. While he managed to stay in school, his education suffered tremendously. Heading into his teenage years, he struggled significantly, barely able to read. Point 3 uncovers how fear and disappointment hindered Goggins from realizing his full potential. Although school remained a battle for David, he found clarity in his late teens. He would join the United States Air Force. Driven by a desire for military service, he finally dedicated himself to learning and was accepted into Air Force training. Sadly, his road would be far from smooth. Goggins aspired to be an Air Force pararescue, specializing in parachuting into conflict zones. To succeed, he faced his most intimidating challenge yet: swimming. Having never taken swimming lessons, he was unprepared once training began, lacking the necessary skills. Fear consumed him, eventually leading to his withdrawal. Additionally, a medical test revealed a predisposition to sickle cell anemia, which he used as justification to leave the military. By 1999, at 24, Goggins worked an unfulfilling job as a nighttime pest exterminator. Using food to mask his disappointment, he gained weight rapidly. His eating spiraled, culminating in a breakfast of donuts and chocolate milkshakes. At his mother's place for breakfast, his meal routinely consisted of a staggering amount of food, reflecting his attempts to cope with harsh realities. But opportunity awaited just around the corner. Point 4 highlights Goggins' transformation through his commitment to becoming a Navy SEAL. One pivotal morning, following another hefty breakfast, He watched a documentary about Navy SEALs in training. Regarded as the most elite fighting force worldwide, SEAL training is widely known to be grueling. Captivated by their mental toughness and resolute determination, Goggins became driven by an unquenchable desire to join them. For the next few weeks, he reached out to Navy recruitment offices across the nation, yearning for a chance to train as a SEAL. Fortuitously, a program existed for former military personnel wanting reactivation into the Navy. However, two major obstacles loomed. The program would close in 3 months, and he weighed nearly 300 pounds, far above the 191-pound limit. In just 3 months, he needed to shed over 100 pounds to qualify. Undaunted, Goggins committed to a demanding fitness routine. Rising at 4:30 a.m. daily, he immediately cycled for 2 hours before swimming for another 2. Intense gym workouts followed, including circuit training with high rep sets. Afterward, he rode the bike for hours more. Remarkably, he lost 25 pounds within 2 weeks and incorporated 4-mile runs into his regimen. By enrollment time, he was in prime shape. The ensuing training was relentlessly tough, with minimal sleep and rigorous drills, yet Goggins persevered, ultimately fulfilling his dream of becoming a Navy SEAL. Point 5 showcases Goggins' impressive achievements in ultra running. After achieving SEAL status, Goggins sought new challenges, something that would truly test his limits like SEAL training had. In 2005, he found the answer: extreme long-distance running. Motivated by the deaths of fellow SEALs during an operation in Afghanistan, he aimed to raise funds for their families. Goggins decided to tackle the Badwater 135, a grueling 135-mile race known for its scorching conditions and elevation challenges. Starting below sea level in Death Valley, it culminates at an elevation of over 8,000 feet, notoriously run in July when temperatures soar. Competitors typically finish under 48 hours. To secure his spot, Goggins needed to complete a 100-mile race first. He entered the San Diego one day, finishing without prior special training. Despite the severe exertion leading to moments of loss of control, he completed the race in an astounding 19 hours, even running an additional mile to ensure he met the distance. This success earned him a spot in the 2006 Badwater 135. Determined, he thoroughly prepared for the race, familiarizing himself with the terrain and training in extreme heat conditions. Race day arrived, and all his preparation paid off. Goggins completed the Badwater 135 in just 30 hours, placing 5th overall. Point 6 reveals that anyone can follow in Goggins' footsteps with sufficient effort. As one of the few African-American Navy SEALs and a noted ultra-runner, Goggins frequently shares his secrets to success. The cornerstone of his achievements lies in his unwavering work ethic. In a world fixated on quick solutions, Goggins advocates that real mastery requires dedication. Talents and passion are meaningless without the drive to work hard. His relentless commitment has propelled him in everything he undertakes. When sharing insights about hard work, many express the challenge of finding time amidst family obligations and work commitments. Goggins, however, challenges this mindset. In his view, all that's required is to seize the early morning. Goggins stands out because he awakes at 4 a.m. to embark on 6 10-mile runs, returning home by 5:15 a.m. By 7:30 a.m., he arrives at work after biking 25 miles. His discipline extends further as he utilizes lunch breaks for workouts or additional runs. After finishing his day, he cycles home, completing an extensive day of cycling and running alongside his regular job. So take inspiration from Goggins. Rise early tomorrow and push your limits. You've just absorbed Goggins's "Can't Hurt Me." The central theme emphasizes his triumph over a violent and impoverished upbringing to join the military. Overcoming swimming challenges and shedding weight, he ultimately became a super-fit Navy SEAL and a successful ultra-marathoner. Your path to success is within reach. Embrace the grind and awaken early, pushing beyond your limits. Remember the 40% rule. Goggins's 40% rule illustrates that we often quit after reaching just 40% of our potential. Our minds deceive us into thinking we've given everything when we have so much more left to give. To truly master yourself, you must endure discomfort and challenge the voice that holds you back. Have feedback? Thank you for watching. If this summary resonated with you or sparked inspiration, we've fulfilled our purpose. But this is just the start. Subscribe to join our community of learners and achievers. Like the video to show your support for similar content. Comment below with your insights. We appreciate your engagement. Share this with a friend pursuing their own success. At Riasunto Summaries, we convert impactful books into concise wisdom, empowering you to grow faster, dream bigger, and take decisive steps forward.